Now that affair with your secretary from 30 years ago, it's going to ruin your life. They're going to ruin your family. They're going to kill your career. And they're going to make a big public display of it to show other people to stay in line. And they felt like cancel culture was basically operating in the same way as the Soviet Union did. And it was really interesting to see that perspective in Eastern Europe. People that have, lived under that kind of oppressive situation and their perspective on modern day.
That must have really made you think about what happened to you during the Iraq War.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because that in particular, because back then there's no real social media.
Yeah.
And there's no real way to get your message out.
Oh man, they lied. They made up things.
Of course.
They made up this. I was doing this play Embedded at the time at the Public Theater, and we'd go out afterwards, and the New York Post wrote that I was making out with a woman under a palm tree at this club, and it was just they just made it up, and got me in. It didn't really help my marriage at the time, and they just lie. They basically lie. They'll attack you.
They just decided you were an enemy, and they were going to pull out whatever stops they could.
They're going to discredit you in whatever way they can.
Wild.
Yeah, that's a powerful thing when it hits you, and you realize, oh my God, the truth doesn't matter here.
Yeah, well, that's what's so scary about it is that in this country where freedom of speech is supposed to be one of the cornerstones of our society, it's one of the most important things we all recognize. It separates us from everywhere else in history. Like, this is the first country where really it's written into the doctrine of the country. You're supposed to have the freedom, the ability to express yourself, and that this is being attacked and suppressed in all sorts of different ways, not just stopping your ability to express yourself, but attacking you in a concerted effort and lying about you, just lying about you in order to scare other people. It's very Orwellian and it's very un-American. And the fact that like the New York Post would do that to you, or whoever it was from the New York Post would do that, like what the fuck, man?
Well, the good news is there's no gulags.
Yeah.
They don't arrest you in the middle of the night and force you to into some kind of prison thousands of miles away.
Sure, it could be worse. Yeah. But it's not along the line of the American way of life, and if you're a person who really does appreciate what this experience and this experiment in self-government, which was the United States, it's supposed to have free discourse. That's a big part of it. The founding fathers recognized that. You've got to have the ability to talk about things.
Right.
And if you don't, we're fucked. Because if someone can tell you what you can and can't say, that's step one. And then everything else falls in line after that. And next thing you know, you've got a dictatorship.
Right. And there's people that have, lost opportunities or, in show business that recently that, including my ex, Susan Sarandon, who, was against what was happening in Israel and lost her agent and, having a hard time finding work. This is
crazy.
This is nuts. Yeah.
And especially someone like Susan Sarandon, like one of the most respected and established actors of many generations. Like she's been around forever. Yeah. The fact that a take on something that, if you're just looking at it, like what are you? How could you defend that? Like how could anybody defend that?
Right.
I don't even know how many people are dead. You have a complete wipeout of a city. Like 90% of Gaza's gone, or whatever the percentage is. You look at the buildings. You look at what it used to look like. You look at what it looks like now. Like this is defensible.
Yeah, yeah. And I think the point of it is to make a show of it and to say, see, we could do that to her, so we could do it to you. So shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially the timing of when you do it, right? If you're against Gaza now, it's safer than being against what happened a year and a half ago, say. Right. Especially close to October 7th. If you're one of the early, like Roger Waters, one of the early people talking about this is you're watching genocide in real time, and they came for that guy.
Yeah.
And more people see it the way he sees it now. And just like what happened to you with the Iraq War, you're 20 years from now, it's going to be a universally accepted opinion, I bet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's just, it's crazy to go through something like that, and for you to have gone through it like really early on, for you to have gone through that in 2003. I guess it really does inform your opinions, though. Like when you see things that are happening today, you go, okay, I've seen this before.
What I started looking for after that was a way to be someone that was more involved with something that could affect change. In other words, I used my nonprofit. We started a prison program 20 years ago, and we see the change that happens. We have people that go in and basically offer rehabilitation in the form of theater, and not doing plays or anything, but getting people to play emotions through characters that we introduce to them. And in doing so, unlocking emotions that have been suppressed for many, many years. So in prison, there's one go-to emotion. It's anger. That's your survival face. That's your mask on the yard. You have to be a badass or you're going to die. But sadness is compromising, fear is compromising, and happiness is genuinely not encouraged either. So we get these guys in a room, we get to introduce them to these stock characters from the Commedia dell'arte, and then they have to express their emotions and make choices with their emotions in improv. And what they find is that if someone approaches them in anger in an improv, the facilitator will encourage a different emotion in response to anger than anger, right? And what they come to understand is that they don't have to respond to anger with anger. There are other choices. And in fact, in real life, they can do that too if they can do it in an improv. And so what happens is these people tap into long dormant emotions and start to understand that they are more than the worst act that got them there. They tend to create bonds across gang ties, racial lines. When we're putting together a group, we ask that rival gangs are in the same room with each other.
Oh, wow.
And what happens is these bonds are made through the sharing of emotion. Like we get these guys into an improv where they're all putting a flower on a grave of someone and saying something under their breath about the person that's deceased. And then at some point the facilitator will say, now look at each other, and they're looking at each other with these eyes of sadness, and they realize they have a lot in common, in that shared emotion. I had two guys come up to me, one black guy, one white guy. They said, we got to tell you what happened 2 weeks ago. Our shot callers said, we're going to have a fight on the yard. And so, you never question the shot caller. And so, that's going to happen, And so what they did was they found each other, these two guys, and they rolled around on the floor acting like they were killing each other.
Wow. How convenient.
Yeah. So it looked like they were participating, but they weren't hurting each other.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good solution.
It's amazing what happens when you experience something like that in person, when you see the transformation happen, and we see this in our school children as well. That's something that is deeply inspiring. You know that you've had something to do with a real change, right? Whereas for years I was asked to, attend fundraisers and, various causes. And, it's great that they're doing that, and it's great that they're raising money for these organizations that need it. But at the end of the day, you don't really feel like it did anything other than go to a dinner. And this was a way to get my hands dirty and really, get in the struggle of it. And I found it to be so much more satisfying as far as whatever inclination I had towards activism was really fed by this, as opposed to hopping from fundraiser to fundraiser. It just felt more real. It felt like something that I could take that experience, and then I could say to my group, let's expand. Let's get into more and more prisons. And now we're in 18 prisons in the state of California doing these programs.
Did you have to develop a curriculum, like how you begin to reach out to these guys and how you set it up, like how you